Chinese-made artificial intelligence app DeepSeek will immediately be removed from government devices because it poses an unacceptable risk to national security. Live to our political correspondent Cam Redden now. He's in Canberra for us. First, TikTok, DeepSeek is now, well, this is almost effective immediately. What is the government particularly concerned about?
Yeah, it's all about the safety of data, Laura. From today, it's an immediate effect. All government departments, including politicians and public servants, will have to ensure that no government devices have access to this app, DeepSeek. This is an artificial intelligence app released within the last fortnight, Chinese-made, and it's gotten so popular because it's able to do many of the things that other AI apps like ChatGPT, for example, can do, but it uses a fraction of the energy to do so. The concern, however, is the access that other organisations, that the Chinese government and others may have to the data that is stored and processed through this application. So as a result of those concerns, the government has today acted on advice from security agencies to ban all public servants and politicians from having this app on their phones or their laptops or other devices. Worth noting, of course, Laura, that they can still be used on personal devices. It's still up on the App Store for Australians to use. Other apps also, there is no movement on things like RedNote, for example, WeChat, these other Chinese applications where similar concerns around data may exist, but those can continue to be used on government devices for now.
OK, there's also been a bit of a development around this spat involving costings. I mean, the coalition's put out a policy, the government's sent it all the way to the Treasury to have a look at it, and now there's a little bit of a tit for tat, which surely will frame question time today.
You would think so, Laura, and the tit for tat goes in multiple directions. We revealed yesterday this angry letter from Angus Taylor, furious, the Shadow Treasurer, that Treasury, in his view, had costed a coalition policy, something that he says was a breach of long-standing tradition. We can show you the two competing figures. The coalition points to a figure that it's been provided by the Parliamentary Budget Office, which ran the numbers over the full nuts and bolts of its policy and arrived at $125 million a year. This is tax breaks for small businesses to go out and have long lunches or free or meals and other things. Treasury, the Treasurer, then got his department to run its own numbers on all the publicly available information that the coalition had put out there, and it arrived at a figure significantly higher, $1.6 billion. Sky News has revealed in the last hour a response now from the Treasury Secretary pushing back against these allegations from the coalition that it has been used essentially as a political tool to make a point for Labor. He says that all has happened above board here. We can show you part of the letter that Dr Kennedy wrote in response to Angus Taylor, in which he pushes back, saying that a costing request, yes, was received by the Treasurer's office, and that request specified policy parameters, but this was not explicitly a coalition policy. The letter goes on to say that a costing of this type, it's underpinned by a range of assumptions. The Treasury goes through its usual costing measures. Critically, though, it says that Treasury's role is to provide costings of possible policy proposals when requested by the government of the day, but we will not cost a policy that is specified as a policy of another political party. So the long and short of that is it says there was never a mention of a coalition policy, but despite that, the coalition believes it's essentially done a number on its own policy, or the parameters at least it put out. They're dismissing these numbers today as nonsense.
What we've seen here is an egregious politicisation of the public service, and Treasury Secretary Steven Kennedy has backed away from the government here and made it very clear that yesterday at the press conference where Jim Chalmers made up these figures, he was lying. He said that Treasury had costed coalition policy. But he doesn't know what coalition policy is. These numbers are a nonsense.
Sky News understands, Laura, that what has essentially happened here is that the Treasurer's office has been akin here essentially to a copy and paste job. It's been the details here of the media release, for lack of a better word, of the coalition's policy. The hypothetical policy was put to Treasury. It's then done this modelling. Look, both sides have done this in the past, but they won't explicitly say it's an opposition policy. We can surely expect this, though, to continue right throughout question time.
Yeah.
The full costings, of course, still not out there.
OK. I'm sure Steven Kennedy loved being dragged into the middle of that one. We will see, Cam. Looking forward to question time today. The biggest fight over the tiniest of policies so far. Cam, thank you.